Ancient forces threaten Sanctuary, aided by your... Oh, I never know how to pronounce that. Seneschal? Aided by your Seneschal companion. Hazard the traps and constructs beneath the desert of Kejistan. Seneschal companion.
Okay, so it's looking like the league gimmick is this companion. So if it's a season of the construct, then I'm assuming our enemies are some evil constructs, and maybe we get a friendly construct, something like that. Let's see.
Alright, our enemy is the demon Malphus. We gotta go deep beneath the surface. Some kind of dungeon, like a... I've heard ideas thrown around of wanting a dungeon that just keeps going down, 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 down. Starts January 23rd, 10 a.m. PST. Uncover the powerful secrets of Zoltan Kuhl's loom. Oh my gosh, wait, they were serious when they were saying evil looms. Oh my gosh, the teaser from last week, evil looms. It actually is an evil loom. I can't believe the Mad Lads did it. They... Oh my god. Zoltan Kuhl's loom. Zoltan Kuhl's not really evil. It's debatable. A new dungeon type called Vaults. A seasonal robotic seneschal companion.
Okay.
We've got a
So I
robot.
was right.
Okay, so it's gonna be like a golem construct. That's what the gears are for. So the clockwork device is gonna be our robotic companion. Alright, it's a season of robots. Weekly leaderboards in the gauntlet. Weekly leaderboards. Are we getting challenge rifts back? Is this D3 challenge rifts again now? Quality of life features. Constant Helltide events. Okay, we knew about that one. Okay, let's dive in. Let's see. So this is Zoltan Kuhl's legacy. Alright, so this is interesting because Zoltan Kuhl was a big character in D3. But the voice actor of Zoltan...
I didn't know about constant Helltide events. I think that's great. I thought one of the stupidest things, honestly, was that... Helltides were every other hour. Was just so silly. Oops, I pushed a button. Was just so silly, and yeah, to be able to farm them as much as you want, constantly, like in the Season of Blood, the last season where we had the vampire Helltide, green Helltide. Definitely should be way better like this. We won't be screwed and limited on the Helltide resources, and yeah, let's see.
Zoltan Kuhl is the same as the voice actor. The Diablo 3 Zoltan Kuhl voice actor is the same as the Diablo 4 Mephisto voice actor. So I wonder, are they getting the same guy? Are we just not going to hear Zoltan Kuhl's voice? Are they getting a different guy to do Zoltan Kuhl? Because I know some original theories were that the wolf was Zoltan Kuhl because it's the people recognize the voice. Okay, the loom, an ancient technology designed by Kuhl and Ayuzan of Chaldeum. The demon Malphus twisted the loom for his cruel whim.
Okay, I don't think we need the lore here.
Season 1
and... I'm just gonna pop ahead a bit.
2, the season of Underneath Kejistan. Oh, we're getting a new town center. Interesting. Base of operations. Okay, cool. Conduit to access the deadly vaults. Riddled with elemental hazards and constructs, these vaults are the key to harnessing the true potential of the loom. Okay, so instead of something out in the open world, we are traveling to a new town hub, and from there to these new dungeons called vaults, I suppose. Travel to the loom to stop the threat. Malphus is the boss.
Okay, so my guess for that stuff, and I'm pretty sure I'm on point here, but who knows? But my guess, I think, is that it's going to be kind of an expansion of how with the Vampire League, we had that one little room with the blood fountain where you would interact a few times for your quest line for the vampire powers. I think it's just going to be more like that, but it's kind of expanded. So you have a whole town, and there's going to be one little room similar to the vampire room, where you are going to be accessing this vault, which I'm assuming is going to be pretty much nightmare dungeons, with maybe a little bit of theming thrown on top. Would be cool if they were more than that. So let's see.
Robots. We got like a scorpion and a... Okay. Wield the power of the loom. Acquire your very own seneschal companion. Is this their way to bring back like Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 companions and mercenaries? I know people have been asking mercenary when. I guess this is a form of mercenary. And they do fight alongside you, engaging directly in the fight or aiding you dutifully on the sidelines. It sounds like we have choices. I mean, it does seem like there's maybe different types. Oh, no. Okay, this is ours. The blue is ours. Blue is good guy. Red is bad guy. So the red are the evil robots. Using magical governing and tuning... Whoa, wait a minute. Using governing and tuning stones, augment your seneschal to best suit your targeted build for season of the construct. Governing stones determine which attacks your seneschal can perform, while tuning stones will augment those skills and provide greater utility. Oh, okay, so governing, you get 2 governing stones, it looks like, and then 3 tuning stones. This is like the best form of companions ever. We get more... I mean, I guess we don't get to give them items, but instead we're basically building their kit. Yeah, 2 governing stones, 6...
Hopefully, I'm just going to put this out there, hopefully this feels like actual companions that are gonna meaningfully change your build. What I'm getting from this is it looks like vampire powers on a stick a little bit. And it seems you can make it either attacky or supporty. But anyways, before I judge it too hard, let's listen to this.
6 tuning stones, 1 governing stone for each attack, and 3 tuning stones to augment the ability. There are 12 different governing stones, 27 different tuning stones of different rarities to seek out in the vaults. Okay, so Season 1 we had the Malignant Hearts. Season 2 we had the Blood Powers, which were a deeper mechanic than the Malignant Hearts. And now it feels like we have an even deeper mechanic in the form of these stones, because now we're hunting for specific drops, we are selecting to outfit which attacks we want, and then which augments we want on those attacks. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. We can acquire these stones in different ways. We complete vaults to earn 1 random tuning stone, and seek out ward-woven chests to earn additional stones, both of which can be earned through various levels of the season journey. Both types also have a low chance to appear as drops when playing Vaults and Arcane Tremors. Okay, now that's a new thing, Arcane Tremor. Defeating enemy constructs within the vaults will also grant Shattered Stone, which can be crafted into governing... okay, so if we're not getting the drops that we want, we also can craft. Hey, we're getting crafting too. Well. Okay, so that's great. A drop-based game.
Rhyker's just shilling a bit here. To be fair, he's... Okay, I don't think he's full shill, but I do think that he does like the amount of access he gets from Blizzard, and I think he always gives them the benefit of the doubt, to be generous.
Right, ARPGs are inherently RNG loot. We work towards a goal so that they'll need to increase their raw power by leveling them. Okay, so we're also getting the leveling mechanic like in the Season of Blood. So not only are we finding these, crafting them, or craftly held and augment the... Nice. Once you've acquired your seneschal, they'll follow you everywhere in Sanctuary until Season of the Construct.
Okay. Let me read this a little bit because I skipped through. Okay, to unlock the full power of the stones, blah, blah, blah. Collect or craft duplicates. Fuse them together. Okay, yeah. Very, sort of mobile gamey. right there. Increase the level to increase the potency. Yep, got it. Once you've acquired, they'll follow you everywhere until the season ends. Okay.
Below is a full list of the governing and tuning stones available.
Stones
okay,
have.
Preliminary thoughts is this is looking really good so far. This is looking like the best mechanic yet. We see a progression, in fact, from season 1 to 2 to 3. They're building up more, and almost building upon what came before. I can see this as serving as the basis of a solid, like, companion system in the game. Personally, like, I would rather have a human being companion like in D2 and D3, but for this season it makes perfect sense for it to be a construct. But, you know, since this is just going to be around for the season of the construct, theoretically you can take a very similar system and use it for a companion as well. Whether it's an Iron Wolf or whatever, these mechanics, they can easily translate to any system. So governing stones, auto defense. Governing stones, again, we get to pick 2 of these. These are our attack powers. I think there's 12 of them. Anti-material field around itself, shooting down enemy projectiles. Cannot shoot down boss or player projectiles. Interesting. Bushwhack, quickly ambush, dealing damage to each target. May strike the same target multiple times. Firefly, deploy a small construct that lands on the target and explodes 3 times, dealing damage. Focus fire, channels a ray of fire onto targets, dealing damage to each over time. I think some of these we'll have to actually see exactly how they work. We have no idea how much damage they deal. Gyrate. Whirls its legs around, quickly dealing damage to all surrounding enemies. Impale. Perform a line attack to all enemies in front of the seneschal. Construct, dealing damage. Lightning bolt. Shoot a bolt of lightning. Arcs to other targets, dealing a portion of the original damage. Protect. Materializes a protective barrier on the player for a portion of their max life. I can see this being probably an essential, assuming the game has any kind of like pinnacle content like Abattoir of Zir. Reconstruct. Channels a reconstruction beam, healing the player for a portion of their max life over time. Okay, so you can make a full-on support setup for your Seneschal. I certainly hope that the high-end meta doesn't become the damage the Seneschal deals is irrelevant compared to the player, therefore just load him up with the couple protective ones, unless we have a lot more protective ones.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with that. I think that unless there are ways to scale this thing, or if you can infinitely do that 3-to-1 fusing system where you're combining, and you can constantly tier up the powers, which might feel tedious. But anyways, I think that there's a high chance that only the ones that actually scale off your max life are going to matter. But let's see.
So I'm fine with the Seneschal being an entirely support character, but...
Ooh, and I'm looking below. I don't know if anyone looked below, but looks like you pick their skill, and then you pick the support gems. And you know, any leaf you take from PoE's book, that's gonna be a pretty good leaf, I think.
From what I'm seeing right now, we don't have enough options of support skills. Slash pummels enemies, dealing damage. Tempest. Electrically charge an enemy, causing it to deal damage to themselves, and and additional each second over time. If the enemy is killed, Tempest spreads to another enemy, gaining for additional time and bonus damage. These bonuses are also applied if Tempest is reapplied onto the same enemy. So, again, like hopefully, you know, the damage of this will be relevant with the tuning stones at the highest levels of play. Otherwise, it's probably going to be protect and reconstruct being the meta. But tuning stone abilities, let's see. So how can we tailor these skills? Each can have 3 tuning stones. Voluminous support.
Okay, so he's going to read through all these, so I'm going to skip through it, but I'm going to just take a quick look at them myself. So we got increased area, attacks, faster attacks. We got like an anti-shield support. Interesting. Oh, and there's a chance to make vulnerable. That could be potentially useful for builds that don't have easy access to vuln. Decrease cooldown. So this one's faster casting. Okay, efficiency seems to give your character bonus crit chance. Devastation support. Supported skills gain. So this is crit damage. Safeguard gives you DR. Frigid. That's like bone chill. Burning, electrocution. Okay, got it. Understood.
Or probably the
poison.
The fastest deprioritized burn could be big for bleed builds. Poison support applies a poison.
Enemies take bleeding damage from all sources while moving. Yeah, cool. Poison. Poison has a chance each second to spread all poison damage to an additional enemy. Okay. So that's maybe Rogue's best friend here.
Chance to spread poison to other enemies. Dusk support, shadow damage. Afflicted enemies who attack have a chance for their attacks to be interrupted. Oh, it doesn't interrupt bosses. Okay. Duration support.
Okay, so Dusk support is useless.
Increased duration. Fortify support. Ooh, when your buddy uses his skill, you gain Fortify. Interesting. There definitely are like some Fortify builds.
Yeah, that's really good for Fortify. Is an important conditional for certain characters like Druid and stuff. And actually a lot of classes have very difficult time accessing Fortify, kind of other than Druids. So maybe that's important.
Generally, the builds that rely on Fortify have enough ways to gain Fortify, but still. Resource support. Player gains an amount of primary resource when the supporting skill first deals damage. Well. That is actually potentially huge. You Bing. Damage and effects done by the supporting skill to distant enemies pull them towards the seneschal. Can only occur.
Okay, so this is like a vacuum support, basically. You're having your construct kind of just vacuum all the enemies together for you.
Once every so often. Registered damage. Any damage is registered. Registered damage explodes at effectiveness when the target dies as fire damage. Okay, so builds up damage to eventually exploded. This might be the key to making the seneschal actually deal damage. So in general, when things like this get added to games, or at least ARPGs, we often arrive in a position where for the best builds, the amount of damage that our buddies deal is just irrelevant compared to our own damage. So yeah. It's just really difficult to balance the amount of damage these things deal such that they're not ridiculously broken powerful for like lower tier to like average builds. All that is known of them is writ below. Evernight and Genesis. Okay. Evernight, I'm guessing like you're going to be constantly cloaked. I don't know. That's not really useful to anyone other than a rogue, I guess. Genesis, no idea. But yeah, these are going to be the most powerful ones. Probably very rare to get. Okay. So before we dive into vaults there, again, right off the bat, this is looking like the best mechanic yet. Both in terms of the depth of your ability to exert action of what's to come in the future. Okay, Deadly New Dungeons vaults. So what are these vaults?
Okay, let's see what the vaults are.
Specialized dungeons. Whoa, is this a big old robot? They house elemental hazards devised by Zoltan. Cool. Among the hazards lay the constructs, an entirely new monster family. That as well, right? So Season 1, Season 2, we just had kind of reskinned monsters. Now these are like new monster scattered throughout the halls.
New mobs is really a big deal because there were like 4 or 5 enemy types in D4, and it gets real old real fast. Adding types that they can reuse going forward is a really big deal.
Okay. So you have a certain amount of lives, I guess. Every time you die, you lose warding. So I guess that means you get fewer rewards? If you manage to keep Zoltan's warding intact after defeating the vault boss, you'll unlock a ward-woven chest, which has a higher chance of granting legendary items. Definitely, we don't have enough legendary items. Legendary items don't drop nearly enough. This is very needed. Using Pearls of Warding could increase the risk by exchanging them for extra stacks of Zoltan's warding at the vault entrance. Succeed and your reward will increase as well. Using Pearls of Warding can increase the risk by exchanging them for extra stacks of Zoltan's warding at the vault entrance. It would be nice to have like a video kind of showing this as they're talking through it, but I guess that's what Thursday's for. But it sounds like they're implementing a risk-reward mechanic where you can choose to increase the difficulty of the dungeon, and in doing so, it will increase the reward. It also sounds like, contrary to my initial thought, it's not that as you lose warding, the reward goes down. It's an all-or-nothing thing. So you have X number of lives. If you lose all your lives, then you don't get the ward-woven chest. If you have at least one of your lives left, your Zoltan's warding, then you do get it. I do hope this ward-woven chest is something more than just containing legendary items. I feel like it did say...
Yeah, that chest... legendary items. Oh my god. This game, man. They need to work on rewards.
Enemies. Hazards are going to be like, what? Some kind of traps? Are they... season. And I mean that in the best of ways. Negate the arcane tremor by defeating... But what is the arcane tremor? Negate the arcane tremor by defeating the vault's mighty herald construct, securing a tenuous piece to the denizens above. We're also getting to...
Okay, so I'm assuming because these are all constructs, there's going to be something that's going to be drilling, and whatever is drilling is going to be... basically causing tremors like earthquakes, arcane earthquakes, and you got to stop the drill, and the drill is in the vault, and the vault is in the ground, and the green grass grows all around. Yeah, you got it.
PoE levels of jargon here. Staunch the spread of arcane tremors. I still don't understand what arcane tremors are. The first time they said arcane tremor, it was... Okay, when playing Vault event.
Rhykker doesn't get it. I don't know.
If that's the case, that's good. So, arrive with the gauntlet. Wait, coming soon. Why is nothing else coming soon? A new challenge arrives later in Season of the Construct. Oh, it's...
Oh, no. They don't even have the leaderboard for day 1 of the new season. Brutal. Brutal.
Not... I see. So we're not getting it at launch. Fight through the gauntlet, a weekly rotating fixed dungeon that will have you competing for the top spot on the leaderboards. Only the strongest will emerge to claim their place on the weekly leaderboards. The top weekly scores will earn their permanent place in the Hall of the Ancients. More details on the arrival of the gauntlet will be available in a future blog. Okay, so it's sort of like Challenge Rifts, except you bring your own character into them. So, fixed dungeon, meaning everyone is doing the same dungeon, so it's not about RNG, which is good, meaning there's not going to be any rift fishing, which we had in D3, which was unfortunately was effective to do, but a terrible way to play the game. Fishing being that you just keep trying dungeons over and over until you get a lucky dungeon that's easier to do. So everyone has the same dungeon. We're all on an even playing field. It's all about your skill and your build. Beautiful. So it looks like every dungeon will have their own weekly leaderboard. So we're going to have like 15, I guess, dungeons over the course of a season, more or less. And if on any of those weeks you get a top score, then you will permanently be in the Hall of the Ancients. So you got 15 shots, basically, to earn your spot there. Okay. No, wait, sorry. It's not 15 because it's coming later in the season. Ooh, okay. That cuts it down significantly. If I had to guess, it could be maybe a month into season, so we're going to get like 10 spots. That might help keep the competitive-minded players playing in the back half of the season. So I'm not a competitive-minded player, so I do wonder, like, how much are they going to care about these weekly leaderboards? I encourage you to sound off in the comments with your thoughts there.
So even as a bit of a competitive player myself, I think it'll really go to show what this gauntlet actually entails, what it takes for a character to be good at it. Is it just having a good character? Do you need to specifically build a gauntlet character? Excuse me. At the very least, it's something new to do, which I will say is positive.
Especially if you're a D3 player, right? You had leaderboards. Did you care about leaderboards in D3? Do you think you're going to care about these leaderboards? Would like to hear your thoughts. Then, quality of life updates in Season of the Construct. Hell Tides Endure. So they already mentioned this, but now Hell Tides are going to always be active except for 5-minute rest once per hour. Most people feel this is a great change. Enhanced movement with WASD. Wait. Oh, okay. They just added WASD to PC. Interesting. Huh. It's sort of a why not kind of thing. Not many people are going to go for it, but...
Yeah. They saw the PoE 2 trailer. They were like, we have WASD too. You know.
You already have controller support. Once you already have controller support, why not have WASD support? Sure. Extra stash tab. Hooray. Or one extra stash tab. That's good. Hey, I'll take it. I need more, but I'll take one in the meantime. Improvements to reallocating your skill tree, improvements to UI when trading gold, increased rates to earn the items needed to summon the beast in the ice. Oh, cool. And more. Respec mode overview. Refund nodes and paths or re-add them. Okay, that's nice. Stay tuned for full patch notes.
I think that's nicer than Rhykker gives it credit for. If they have that to your main tree, it's a little less important because honestly there's so few points in there, it feels like. But if they have a better respec for the Paragon board, that's pretty important. Because that was so annoying to respec 1 point at a time. It was terrible, honestly. Yeah. Should have been in at launch. Here it is now. Better than never. Let's go.
Which will be available on January 19th. Oh, and there's new blessings for the Smoldering Ashes. Boost to the duration of shrine effects. Chance to receive an additional tuning stone from ward-woven chests. Boost the chance to receive a greater collection from Whisper rewards. Cool. And again, January 18th, 9 a.m. PST, there's going to be the next dev live stream update, where we'll get more details. And we also just had the announced trailer drop. Let's watch this. Now what I expect from the Season of the Construct.
Welcome, Wanderer. I sense that recent events have brought you to me. These are strange times indeed. So many fear the inexplicable.
Another what?
I deal in it. And you seek answers.
Okay, that's one of those Woodstones.
This will lead you to the knowledge you desire. Legends state this rune is the missing piece of an arcane construct. A mighty weapon capable of harnessing ancient power for the one strong enough to control it. But be warned, for the construct is buried deep beneath Kyrgyzstan in the ancient vaults of Zoltan Kur. Untouched for centuries, they are protected by deadly traps of Kul's own design, and guarded by his mechanical horrors.
Man, is evading traps going to become like a mechanic?
Okay, that would be cool if we actually have to I personally, so I like the flavor of traps. I still find lab in PoE a little bit annoying. But in general, I do think traps, I don't know. Maybe what it is from a design point of view, now that I think about it a little bit, is that monsters are an obstacle and you get experience for passing them, right? And in D&D, to go way back to like older designs, but where RPGs came from, you get XP usually for disarming traps, and even in games like Baldur's Gate 3, disarming traps gives you XP. So I think the thing about traps is they're just a constant annoyance, but there's no reward for getting past them. At least no instant reward. Obviously, the traps are guarding something, or in PoE, you eventually pass the traps and then you get your ascendancy. But in general, maybe traps need more instant reward. Maybe that's what's missing. And that would take them over the line from annoying to engaging. Because I do think they're immersive, and it makes a dungeon feel more like a dungeon if it's full of traps. But you need to make them not annoying. That's the trick.
The architect Zoltan Kul overestimated his cleverness. In his hubris, the mage abandoned his work, leaving darker forces free to corrupt his machinations and claim the vault's power for themselves.
This is a very different theme.
The answers await you in the depths. Take the rune, if you dare.
Okay. There it is. There it is. So, Season of the Construct. Alright. Well, I'm definitely a little bit hyped about it. And you know what? We're going to play it. And hopefully we are going to enjoy it. Otherwise, worst case, just go back to PoE. Anyways,